and I'm saying in each of our session because as you see in the map, you are from all over the world, and Chevening cover more than 160 countries. So we are happy to have people from all over the world, and I tried to write the greeting from other languages. And yeah, some of them I was not able to put all of them, but yeah, I try my best. If you have a better picture, I will be happy to share for the next session. So today we have amazing three outstanding scholars, Chevening scholars. One of them is alumni, and two of them are fellow Cheveners, and they are doing their masters in the UK right now. And thank you guys for your volunteering activities, for your time. I know, especially for Chevening who are studying right now, how hectic time is right now for you because of the exam and assignment time. So good luck, and yeah, I wish you everything good. You can guys introduce yourself quickly. Hassan, we can start from you and move very quickly, and then we can start officially. Floor is for you.
I'm gonna start, right? Yeah,
Yes,
something
please.
happened to my camera. I'm not sure what is that, but it closed itself. No problem. I hope everybody can hear me right now. I thought Nihal and Muhammad were alumnus as well, but I'm just hearing that they are in the UK doing their masters right now. But yeah, I Hassan Abdul Qadir. I am from Somalia and I went to University of Sussex. As I said before, I went to University of Sussex Business School to pursue Masters of Energy and climate policy. And I went back to my country right now. I'm in my country for the past 1 month. But yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much. Nihal, please go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Nihal Sayad. I'm from Egypt, and I'm currently doing my master's in international education. And I have a pathway because at the University of Manchester, you can do your master's with different pathways. So my pathway is in globalization and international development. So I'm basically doing international education with development. What else? I usually would like to say that I changed my course in the interview. Those who are afraid to change their courses in the interview, this will not impact you at all. So I changed my course in the interview. That's it.
Thank you so much. Muhammad, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Muhammad Al Malalla, and I am from Iraq, Baghdad. And I'm currently studying cybersecurity and forensics at the University of Westminster. Uh, so we hope that our notes today will be helpful for you. And please do not hesitate if you need any help, and especially if you are in the tech field, you can reach out directly, and I am willing to help you. Good luck.
Thank you so much. So yeah, we can officially start, and I think the first slide is for Hassan.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Muhammad. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna start. Let me set my alarm for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, right, mate? Yeah.
Yes, go
So
ahead, please.
we have 41 people. I hope everybody's good, and congratulations for reaching this stage. It's actually a tremendous achievement being here. Um, it's a good achievement, and congratulations once again. But let me start. I don't have enough time. So basically, if you reach an interview stage, basically you need to do something ahead of your interview stage, and on the day of the interview, there are some important stuff that you should do as well. But we're gonna start from when you receive the email that is shortlisting you for the interview. After celebrating you with your friends or with your family, you need to do this stuff and more. But I felt like this was what I've actually done when I have received my my love letter from Chevening Secretariat. So the first thing I did, in which you need to do as well, is to be prepared to validate your worthiness, and this is very important. And what I mean by this is basically that Chevening interview process is a competence-based exercise, and it's designed to carefully screen every applicant on their professional accomplishments and leadership potential as a metric for worthiness, if you know what I mean. So you'll be basically assessed based on the same questions of your first application process, and therefore, obviously, you need to familiarize yourself with the content and the context of your essays. However, that was just an application, right? But with this physical presentation of your candidacy, you now have the opportunity to basically support your written application with more, I would say, factual information, which can be achieved using people, timeline, and places approach. I have used that approach, and it basically means that you can mention names of people, dates, as well as the places that you were not mentioned in your essays. So basically, when I went to the interview stage and I was explaining my examples, I was telling the panel the names of people that I dealt with, the dates, and the places, basically. So that approach basically help you with originality in the first place, and it will enable you to sound natural while you basically own and share your story. So that's really very important. I have seen a lot of people who haven't done that, who haven't told the names or those stuff in their interview, but I've basically done it, and I felt like it helped me a lot, basically. The second thing is to grow your confidence through mock practice, and I cannot stress enough how crucial and important that is. I have friends who have made more than 50 mock interviews when they were preparing for the interview. I cannot say I have done all those mock interviews, but I've done more than 20 myself. So it was not really that less. So you need to set up mock interviews with your parents, friends, housemates, colleagues at work, everybody you can think of. Basically, they are in a position to help you get better with your verbal presentation, body language, grammatical articulation, and everything else in between. So that's really, really very important. The third thing is to do research, and do as much research as you can do. So what are you going to research on? The first thing I can think of right now is basically the Chevening scholarship. Chevening scholarship is not only 1 year master's degree in the UK. It's actually more than that, and you need to research why Chevening. Why do you need Chevening? How can Chevening help you to achieve your goals? How can they might actually ask you why Chevening, why not another scholarship? Because there's hundreds of scholarship out there in the world. Why Chevening, and how can Chevening help you to achieve your goals? You need to also think of what are those goals that Chevening can help you with. Are they realistic? I know everything is possible in the world right now, but come on, Chevening cannot help you with basically everything in the world. There are things that Chevening cannot help you. So you need to think of realistic goals that Chevening can help you with. That's one. And then another thing you need to research on is the UK priority areas in your country. And this is very important information to equip yourself with as you basically seek to harness the dividends of a flourishing relationship between the UK and between the UK and your country, basically. So, for example, the UK's priority areas in my country where they were basically had priorities in health, good governance, science and innovation, energy and power generation, security and prosperity. So basically, I did research on those on those stuff. Basically, your country might be different. UK might be prioritizing something else in your country. They might be prioritizing uh, climate change basically in your country. So they have different priorities for different countries, and you need to research on that. How can you research on that? I basically used DFID website and FCDO websites. Those two can help you with a lot of stuff, but you can think of and research on another websites. You need to also think of the course options in your course list. So you need to think of the specific modules and their offerings to your career. And you can also think of or research on the key faculty members and interesting aspects of the course. Field trips, you can think of internship placements after your graduation. You can think of all that. I know a friend of mine who went to University of Manchester. Uh, she had a field trip to Uganda when she was doing her masters. So if you research on that, uh, and you tell them that is one of the things that attracted you to that specific course, that will they will be like, oh, this person have done their research basically. So you need to think of the course options, and also the same as university options. So you need to think of the specific ranking in the UK or globally. Although all the universities in the UK are really world class, but you need to think the rankings of your specific university or your specific school in the UK or in the global setting. You can also think of student societies. Basically, when I went to my interview, I told them that I will be joining three different, not universities, three different student societies, and I want to join all of them. I joined the the sports society in my university. I've also joined the political society in my university, and another one. So you need to research on that as well, and also the United Kingdom. You need to think of the United Kingdom and research on. It's an amazing country, but what's amazing about it? You need to research on the culture. You need to think of the language. Oh, they all speak English, don't they? But there's basically different accents. There's different accents. Sometimes you don't even understand what they are saying. So you need to think of that. You need to research on food, history, role in global politics, and everything else in between. Uh, that's that. So on the day of Chevening interview, you basically need to be on top of your game. So timing is very important. It's vital for you to be professionally conscious, to arrive early at the interview venue and avoid basically situations foreseen and or unforeseen that may create panic even before entering into the interview room. So you basically need to arrive at the interview venue before 30 minutes to be on the safe side. 15 minutes, okay, but to be on the safe side, you need to arrive at the interview.
Hassan, are you still here? I think I lost your voice. Yeah, I think Mohammed, we can just move on, and if Hassan will come back, definitely he can continue the part.
Okay, I'll go to Nihal's slide now. Go on, Nihal.
Good. Yeah, thank you, Muhammad. Hi, guys. I just need to start to talk about my background before I applied for this master's. So I was studying communication and mass media, and after graduation, I worked only 1 year in the field of education. And I knew that to apply for Chevening, I should have 2 years of experience, but it could be in anything. So I applied with my experience both in education and communication and mass media. And when I got the interview invitation, I was very stressed because this is my first interview for a master's scholarship. I have no idea how this, like, the interview would look like, especially the interview for um, Chevening. So the first thing I did, I said, like, I will relate this interview to something I like, something I used to do. So what I used to do is production and filmmaking because, sorry guys, because I was working in the field of media and I studied media. So I decided to prepare for my interview as I am doing a documentary about myself. So when we work at documentaries, the steps that we do first, we do scouting about anything. So we need to know more about the thing we need to produce. So what I need to produce, I need to be ready. I need to know more about my application, myself, about achieving interview, to go and screen my story. Because what you will be doing in the interview, basically, as my colleague Hassan said, it's basically about you. You're going to tell your story in a form of storytelling. So I think of it at it's like a documentary, and I need to prepare for this. So the first thing that I did to gather as many information as possible about the interview and about like Chevening and what they prefer, what they will ask me. I went to the Chevening website, and literally, this is the best source you can use for your interview, and even for those who will apply for the Chevening next year. The Chevening website, they have many, like I would say, hundreds of blog articles about everything related to the scholarship and especially the interview. They are sharing tips for you to use for the interview. Alumni who are sharing their experience, what went well with them in the interview, what were the questions they asked them, and also the committee that interview the Chevening committee, sharing some tips for students, what they are looking for in the Chevening candidate, and what they're not looking for, so you can avoid to mention in the interview. So you can go to the Chevening website. There are many questions in terms of FAQs, also guidelines for the interview. You might read the news. I used to read the news like every day because they post news about what current Cheveners are doing in the UK. So I tried to get like inspiration and more thoughts about what my life as a Chevener will look like when I go to the UK. The second thing that I did is my empathy in my country, the embassy of the UK. I checked their website and their social media to know more about their interest, what they're posting, what their events they're hosting this time, especially in the education, to start to relate to myself. Remember the question in the application when you wrote about the relationship between the UK and your government, what are the projects they are working on? So it's the same thing. I tried to find fresh things that the UK is doing in my country. Sorry, is Hassan is back?
Yes,
He's
I'm back.
back, but you can finish,
Yeah,
and then
can continue.
after Hassan will continue. Yes.
Okay. Uh, then also the Chevening groups. I joined many groups, especially those who are in the education field, those who are in the education field and graduated from Chevening. They had a WhatsApp group. I joined them to know more about the field-related questions. So you might do the same. I attended so many info sessions, and one of the info sessions was this session. I remember last year I was impressed with the idea how Chevening alumni are giving back to their community, and I attended this session. It was really, really helpful. I asked so many questions, and it helped me. That's why I told Maya that I need to be with you guys this year. And another thing is YouTube. If you have enough time, I know that some people might be stressed with what I'm saying because this is too much. I started doing this scouting to gather information the day one I got the invitation for my interview. So if you don't have enough time, you choose what kind of information you need to know before you start preparing for your interview, and you choose what to do. For me, because I had enough time before the interview, I managed to do all of this, and I spent so much time on the website, on the YouTube, watching alumni sharing their experience, the questions they received, and everything. And the last thing that I did is LinkedIn. I searched on LinkedIn for people who are studying currently or graduated from the programs that I'm applying for, to connect with them, to know like what are the field related questions they received in the interview, how I can prepare for the interview. So you might look at your network you will know some people who are in the Chevening already, or you might search on LinkedIn. And what I was impressed with is that they are helpful. They are very supportive. They replied to me. They managed to help me. However, we don't know each other. They're not even in my network, but they assisted me. And you might act as a chevener and start supporting others. That's what my colleagues did. We created a group on WhatsApp and we started to share information. So those who attended the interview are sharing their experience, especially if you are from the same country. You can do this WhatsApp group and gather yourself. So the second thing I'll go quickly for is the pre-production process, where we used to write script. This is in film and documentary making. But here in the interview, what I did is that I started to write down my answers, what I'll be answering in the interview, what I'll be expecting in terms of questions. So what I did, the first thing is I read my application, and this is very, very important. I printed out my application, I read it word by word, and I tried to like put questions that I know they will not ask me based on the experience of other achievers. They will not ask you silly questions. They will not trying to challenge you. They're really very, very supportive committee. But I tried to be as prepared as possible and do everything. So I prepared each and every single question they might ask me based on what I wrote in my application. For example, I wrote that I read so many reports in the field of education. So I said, okay, Nihal, they might ask you what kind of reports, for which organizations, which year you read that report. They might ask me to give them some information from the report. I already did. I read reports, but I cannot recall them quickly in the interview. So I decided, okay, I'll print out all the reports for this year and last year from the organization that I'm interested to work in, especially Sawira's Foundation in Egypt, USAID, UK Aid, Chevening, everything. So I printed those reports and tried to have time reading them. And they really helped me, especially with the career part, because those are the organizations I dream to work at. So I know their work is similar to what I'm going to study. So that was really helpful and beneficial for me. And also I did the same with the whole application. So I advise you, please read your application. This is what you wrote, and this is what they need to know. They need to know and make sure that you read this application. So the first thing, try to expect any challenging questions. However, they are not a challenging committee, but just be prepared. One thing I wanted to say, yeah, I also prepared like a to-do list for each question to, I'm still in the pre-production phase. Sorry, Mohammed. I'll try to go quickly over this. So yeah, the last thing that I did is I tried to have like a to-do list for each question, what I need to prepare for each question, what I need to know more about. So in your field, it's important to try to know more about the trends in your field, what other achievers like studied. You maybe look at their projects when they came back to their countries. You might take some insights. You already wrote this in your application, I know, but if you need to add like more fresh or trendy stuff you know about your field, you can read this. So in the production process, which is very important for me and more stressful, is where I try to do mock interviews. So the first thing that I did to produce what I've really prepared for like a month for the interview is self-recording. So I started to self-record myself and give feedback to myself, what went well and didn't go well. And it's good to give feedback for yourself because, again, in the interview, you're going to tell your story in your own way. So you should do it your own way. Don't copy paste others. Will be like, you can watch YouTube videos, others saying, we said that, we did that. It's good. You're taking insights, you're taking ideas. But at the end, they're meeting so many people. They don't want to see the same story. They want to know your own unique story. And I'm sure if you are shortlisted to the interview, you have a cause. You definitely have a cause that no one have, and you can like show off. I know the word show off is really over, but you can show off and prove that you are the best candidate and you have a unique story. The second thing that I did for mock interviews, I did a mock interview with someone from my comfort zone to feel like, okay, I'm relaxed, I'm not under stress. I tried till the last minute to tell myself, Nihal, you shouldn't be stressed. This will be okay. So I did a mock interview, actually not with my friend. He is my brother and my friend, my supporter. So my brother Mu'taz helped me with this interview. However, he's very young. He's still in high school. But I just did the interview with him to make sure someone who know me very well can tell me if I'm like fake or over in any point, if I need to change this. So I wanted someone from my comfort zone. And then I had an interview with Chevening alumni from Gaza who I really want to relate to here. He helped me so much. His name is Ahmed Isa. He's from Gaza Stripe. He's really suffering now. He helped me last year for free to do a mock interview, and he gave me from his time just to help me as someone who's shortlisted. I wish him all the best, and to his family as well. And the last interview was with a professional in my field. If you don't have time to do that, don't stress. You will receive just one question about your field with a follow-up question. You can still do it with your friend, it's fine. But if you have access to someone from your field who is professional and can help you, please do a mock interview with them. So that's all about mock interviews. I didn't do any more. If you want to do more, you can. As you heard from Hassan, that many people did like up to 50, which is, for me, no, I can't do this because I need to just be prepared. I need to have all my full energy in the interview itself. I don't want to lose my energy in mock interviews. So the last thing I advise you that after you prepared and you did your part, you had mock interview, you're screening your documentary, you're seeing what you really produced and worked on, and that you're really ready, okay, to talk about yourself. So the first thing I would say, try to make sure that your clothes are prepared and that is comfy, not only formal. It's important to be formal. Yes, you should go in formal, but make sure it's comfy because the waiting time might be long. In my case, because I went early, the waiting time was long, so I waited for around like 45 minutes. So yes, just make sure that you are in a comfortable outfit so you can express yourself and relaxing. The second thing, if you have time, you can look up the location. So what I did, I went to the location a day before to make sure I know the transportation. I know that you might not be from the same city, so don't worry about this. But if you are from the same city of the embassy, just go look the location to make sure that the location is familiar to you and you can go tomorrow in the same time and it's fine. The last thing about, actually the third thing about the documents. So for those who didn't submit the recommendation letters, please don't forget, this is really important. Take your recommendation letters with you to the interview and definitely your passport. Uh, Definitely, as my colleagues mentioned, arrived early. For me, I always have this advice, your interview start when you enter the embassy. So I imagine that, okay, those people are challenging, they want to challenge me, and those cameras are now looking at me and they will be giving me like scores based on how I will enter, how I will grade the reception people, how I will talk to my friends. This is not real. This is just from my thoughts. But yeah, try to deal with it this way. Your interview start once you enter the embassy. Try to be friendly with people. Try to talk to your colleagues, even to just little the stress you have that will be waiting with you in the reception. One more thing. Yeah, I will talk here about the changing the course because I received so many questions about this one. So I didn't change my course completely. I changed one of the three courses I have. So one of the options was King's College London, and I decided to skip this option from my course list because they canceled all the optional modules that I was interested in. So the most important thing, if you want to change your course, go prepared with another course that you need to take, which should be this in the same area or the same field related to the other two courses, and also a reason why you want to change the course. So I told them the reason that I want to change the course is they canceled all the optional modules, and those are really related to my career plan, and I want those ones. So I'm no longer interested in this course. And I wanted to go for the University of Sussex because they have another program, and I started to talk about it. And they were really friendly, and they said, okay, we can add this for your application, and it's totally fine. So don't worry if you want to change your course, just be prepared with the reason why you want to change and the reason why you want to add this new course. And then please, after you finish your interview, get back to your normal life because from March to June or July, this is so long time. You might achieve so many things. Don't just wait for achieving and be stressed. You will do well and you will have the achieving, inshallah, but just get back to your normal life, enjoy work, and keep growing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Niha. It was so inspiring. Very well done. I'm proud of you, and I'm so happy that you are part of the program and mentorship, and the future Chevening scholar has the opportunity to listen to you. Thanks for your tips. It was great. And yeah, guys, I hope that you already made some note that Nihal made the very important tips shared to you. So Please listen to her. It was very inspiring speech. Thank you so much. Let's back for Hassan if he's still here. If not, Muhammad, go ahead.
No, I'm actually here,
Hassan, are
but
you here? Okay, great.
yes,
So it was your, I think, was last part, right?
yeah, I was in the last bar. That's gonna take me like 2 3 minutes. So,
No
and I feel
worries.
like everything about it has been said by Nihal. That was actually good. That was beautiful. So yeah, I was on timing, wasn't I?
As I know, you have been on the last part of your speech.
Yeah. So the timing is important, like my colleague said, and then the dressing is also important. So you need to like dress comfortably, professionally, and calmly. And you also need to bring all your documents. Do not forget a document. That's actually a red flag. There are essential documents, and then there's also a non-essential documents. You need to bring all those documents to your interview. Um, and then you need to maintain your composure and originality. Uh, Basically, the interview panel, from what I can remember, is basically made up of 3 or 4 individuals. Basically, there was a Chevening alumni, as I can remember. There was also a representative from the embassy or the high commission in your country, and then there was someone from UKVI or UK visas and immigration. So that can be a different for different country, but that's what I can remember from my interview. So upon in invitation into the room, you basically need to shake hands with the panelists and identify the lead panelist. Uh, and yeah, you need to be calm and comfortable in your interview. The last part is basically to demonstrate passion and vision. So basically, this chance is a golden chance, basically, to bring your written application to life. So basically, you need to let your charisma and positive attitude shine along with your basically concise and clear responses. So yeah, emphasize how basically your time in the UK will help you achieve your personal and professional goals through basically academic and social activities. It's not only academic. Academic is very important, but it's not only academic. There's academic activities and then there's a social activities. If you only emphasize on your academic life in the UK, you'll be dying from stress basically. Uh, so yeah, do all that and be yourself. And to be yourself, you need to be prepared basically before your interview. And yeah, I am done from my part. Yeah, and I think my time is gone as well.
Thank you so much, Hassan, for being with us. And you share a very important part. Guys, like each of us, we are sharing our experience, as I repeat in each session. And it's important to remember that, like, what we repeat, this is the golden, like, a key for you to keep doing on the interview. So, Muhammad, floor is for you. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone, again. So, first, I was drinking this. So, if you want to take a picture, you will remember this next year, inshallah. If you move to the UK, you will find this. So, you might remember me. So, Hassan and Nihal already like covered most of the notes about the interview, preparing for the interview, what to do during the interview, especially Nihal. She was talking like a machine gun. Well done, Nihal. So, I'll try to cover some points that will be crucial during the interview. So I will not talk much about the period prior to the interview, but I will focus more on what to do during the interview. So I divided my part into two sections, and I gave them the name technicalities and non-technicalities. So I just use this technical term for the technicalities just to describe the things that are related to your essays and your answers and your performance during the interview with regard to your essays and answers. And the non-technicalities for other stuff that are crucial in the interview but are not directly related to your answers. So, starting with the technicalities, first I would like to, like you keep hearing a lot that you need to read your application, you need to read your essay, blah, blah, blah. So all this is important. And of course you need to do this, but go beyond reading your essays. So when you read your leadership essay, for example, and you are preparing one of the examples about your leadership, let's say that you have three examples about your leadership, and you are talking about the first example, let's say. You need to go beyond what you have written in this example because you will be asked follow-up questions. So thinking about what are you possibly going to be asked, this will help you a lot. Because when you tell your story, when you talk about your example, you will either be asked about something that was not clear for the panel or something that you did not cover. So they will ask you about, for example, if you are talking about example where you worked in a group with people from different countries, they will just, for example, tell you how did you manage to communicate with people who speak another language, for example, or people who are different from you. You had to work in one team. So how did you manage how your networking skills helped you to work in such a diverse team. So you didn't cover this in your example, but yet they will ask you this question, and it happened with me. So that's why you need to think about your example and try to cover details from different parts. When it comes to mockups, so let me tell you my story. I was not convinced to do mockups, to be honest. But Maya forced me to do one. So the first mockup I had was with Maya, and she just gave me notes, and we were talking about these notes, but she didn't tell me how I was. But then later, when we did the last mockup, before my interview, she told me in your first interview, you were really bad. She didn't tell me this in the beginning, but I took the notes that she gave me, and then I made some uh, mock-ups with my friends as well, other cheating fellows. And then when I did the last interview with Maya, she noticed the difference. So when you do mock-ups, build on your answers, take the notes. Maya gave me notes. So for this answer, I changed or adjusted the answer based on the notes that Maya gave me, and I aligned them with what I already have in mind. Then when I did a mock-up with another person, I tried to adjust some stuff as well until I reached to an answer that like, okay, this is like perfect compared to the first answer I had. So do a couple of mockups and build your answers by making use of the notes that you get until you reach to an answer that you feel, because there's no perfect answer. There is an answer that you feel you are satisfied with, and the answer that the panel wants to hear from you. Okay, so My other tip is research your field and what the UK is doing. For example, they asked me a question during my interview about what activities I want to do in the UK apart from my studies. So I mentioned some things like I want to attend matches from the Premier League. I want to visit these places, do blah, blah, blah. After I finished my answer, they asked me, what about your field? Is there anything specific that you want to attend? I actually forgot to mention this, but I already made my research, so I was prepared for this. I already like made some research about conferences and events in cybersecurity in the UK. So I told him, yeah, I want to attend an event that is called the Cyber UK. And in this event, I want to go because I want to listen to people coming from this organization, that this organization, this organization. I told them like three organizations in cybersecurity and told them what each one of these organizations does. So I told them like I want to go there for networking. I want to see the strategies that the UK is following. So I was already prepared. Research our field, know what the UK is doing. Okay, you can also state facts about your country when it comes, for example, the career plan. I started my answer by talking about what challenges is my country facing um, when it comes to cybersecurity. So I told him some statistics that there is something called the Global Cybersecurity Index, which is a report published by the International Telecommunication Union that belongs to the United Nations. And like they make a report based on the cybersecurity status of each country. I told them that the UK is ranked the second, while Iraq is ranked 129. So there's a huge gap. I want to know what made the UK second and why Iraq is in this rank. So mentioning this was like I felt it was important because I know what I am doing. I know that the UK is in high rank in my field, so I'm going there to see how did they get there, so that I can then apply these in my country to improve the current situation. When it comes to leadership and networking, stick with the STAR approach. When you talk about your example, it is just a methodology to structure your answer. When you are talking about your example, if you have not already used this in your essays, try to apply it to your answers during the interview. If you are not already familiar with the STAR approach, it is about first stating the situation. What is the situation? You are talking about your leadership skills, a situation where you showed your leadership skills. So there was a situation where you needed to show your leadership skills. So what was the situation? So there was a situation that you wanted to show your leadership skills in, and there was something you had to do in order to solve this situation or find a solution for this situation. So what was the task? What did you have to do? Mention the task or tasks that you had to do in order to solve the situation. And then in order to implement these tasks, what did you do? What was the action or what were the actions that you had uh, to apply in order to achieve these tasks in order to solve the situation. And after applying these actions, what was the result? What was the outcome? What were you able to solve? Mention some statistics if you can, depending on your example, of course. So what were the results that or what was the outcome that resulted from the actions you applied to achieve the tasks that you had to do in order to solve the situation. So they all work together. Okay, try to stick with this approach. In this case, you will show them that you know what you are talking about. Uh, Lastly, and the technicalities, when it comes to career plan, use the SMART approach. SMART approach is a bit different, and I always forget what each character represents, to be honest. But when mentioning your goals, first I would suggest that mention just a bit, like a very brief introduction about what challenges your country is facing uh, with regard to your field, and then try to tell them like, okay, I'm gonna take you to a journey with my career plan, and try start talking about your goals using the SMART approach. You need to make your to make your goal specific. It needs to be specific. Uh, do not say like, I want to do, I might do that, I may do that. For example, I want to do that. No, don't mention that. You need to be specific, state facts. You need to be specific. You need to show them that you know what to do and you know what you want to do. So be specific, state a goal that is measurable, okay? Your goal needs to be realistic as well. Uh, do not say that I want to reduce the poverty rate in my country by 90%, blah, blah, blah. So you need to choose a realistic goal that you are able to achieve. Okay, so something that is realistic and the A that is achievable. So something you are able to achieve and also realistic at the same time. And I forgot what the T is, but I try to time. I think time, something related to time. When I talked about my goals, I told them that when up on my return from the UK, I want to do this and that. And by 2025, there is this thing that I want to do. And by the end of 2025, I'm hoping to achieve this thing. And by 2026, I want to do this. So try to put timing for your for your goals, and put some statistics as well, but realistic and achievable ones. Okay. Now moving to the non-technicalities, which is something I really like, and some people do not pay attention that much or do not realize how important these things are. So first, dress smart. Uh, do not be overdressed, or do not dress something that is not appropriate for the interview, but be smart. Dress in a way that represents you, that reflects your personality. So be smart about that. You can wear like fully formal, you can be fully formal, you can be semi-formal, it depends, but wear something that is smart, reflects your personality, and is appropriate for the interview. Okay. Two, if you wear perfumes, do not wear strong perfumes because they don't like it, basically. So use something that is light. This is like just a recommendation. Hassan talked about this already. You need to arrive early, avoid any delays. For me, what I did was, I know where the location my interview was. So I went to an area close to the interview location. Okay. And I arrived there 2 hours earlier, and I parked my car in a closed garage, and I just found a cafe. Uh, Went there, okay, used my laptop just to go through some notes, had a coffee, and like 30 minutes before the interview, I know that the way to the interview location is just 10 minutes. So 30 minutes before the interview, it took me 10 minutes to get to the interview location, and I was able to make it on time. So you know your place, you know your interview location, you know your time. plan your trip accordingly. During the interview, you need to be normal, okay? It is absolutely fine to be nervous. They know that you are an achieving interview and that you might be nervous. This is totally fine. They already know that and they are aware of it. So be normal. It's okay to be nervous, but keep it to a normal level. Don't be too nervous and don't be overconfident. They know that you are nervous, so they will try to be friendly with you, and you will see that they will act in a friendly way. So be normal, don't be too nervous, and don't sound like overconfident. Okay? If you shake hands, if you are fine with it, shake hands. And there is a tip that I learned from someone who was talking about communication and networking and official communication. It was just a workshop that I attended, I guess, 4 years ago, and the the guy talked about the importance of shaking hands. And when you shake hands using your both hands, like you hold the hand of the person you are shaking hands with, but then you use your other hand to shake hands. So it gives a good impression when you shake hands using your both hands. So if you are fine with this, try to shake hands using both of your hands, and this will give a very nice impression. So I did that with all the panelists when I first entered the interview room and when I left as well. Communication is really crucial, so you need to put all this in mind. They don't want a person who's just like smart and want to study and that's it. They want leaders. They want people who are able to communicate well, people who are able to build relationships and create a network and maintain relationships as well. So you need to take care of all these. You need to communicate well. When they told me about their names during the interview, so they are foreigners, so I'm not familiar with their names. So there are names that I might not be able to pronounce. So when they told me their names, two of them I was not able to pronounce their names in the beginning. So I kept asking them, "What is your name again?" And I kept repeating the name until I was able to pronounce it. And this like showed them that I am able to communicate, and I'm asking you for your names because I want to pronounce it well. I know you are different, and this is the diversity. This is where diversity lies. So I asked them for their names for both of them until I was able to pronounce them. Until I said, "Oh, okay, excellent. Now you can pronounce the name." So you need also to maintain eye contact when someone, let's say that three people are interviewing you, so the panelists are three, for example. If someone asks you a question, do not just maintain eye contact with the person who asks you the question, but try to maintain eye contact with all of them when you are talking. Okay, when you are stating your answer, look at the person who asked you the question, then look at the person on the right, look at the person on the left, and keep maintaining eye contact with them. Okay, do not just look at the person who asked you the question and ignore the others. And it's okay if you look at the table for a second. It's okay if you look at the ceiling for a second, but do not make it take long. Try to maintain the eye contact with all the panelists. It's okay to look at different places. This is normal and it's part of our nature, but do not make it take too long. Try to maintain eye contact with everyone. Okay. um, Use while you answer as well. Oh, I'll get back to this at the last point. Show your sense of humor whenever this is appropriate. So they want to see this. So show your sense of humor, but not in an exaggerating way. So whenever it is appropriate, whenever it is appropriate, show your sense of humor. If you can make jokes, or if you want to laugh or something, uh, smile while you answer when the situation requires you to answer, if it is something nice or if you want to make a joke about something. um, Try to show this, but not in an exaggerating way. You need to control it. So you know your position, you know what you are talking about, you know yourself. If there is a situation where you are able to show the sense of humor and it is uh, a good time to show it, then show it. Okay. uh, Control your body language. Okay, the way you sit. It's okay if you change the way you sit uh, during the interview, but do not sound like you are moving a lot or you are stressed. Avoid doing this with your hands. Uh, as I told you, it's okay to be nervous, but do not show that you are too nervous. You can drink water, adjust the way you sit. You can either sit like this. It's okay to sit like this and use your hands while you answer. Um, in one of the questions, I just stepped back and I put my hands like my arms like this when I like to indicate that I'm thinking about something. So I aligned my body language with my answers. So the answer, it was a follow-up question, and I was not prepared for that. So I used my body language because I had to think about an answer. So I was talking about something, I was giving them an answer, and then I wanted to think for a moment. So I did like this, thought about something, talked to them, okay, and then went back to my normal way and continued my answer. So control your body language, uh, use it in alignment with your answer. So for example, when they asked me about what challenges um, do you expect you are going to face in the UK? Something like this. It was about the challenges in the UK. So I first answered, like the first thing I did when I answered this question. So the panel were like two women and one man. Okay, so when I answered this question, I just like made this and told them, because I hate the weather in the UK and I hate the rain. I don't like when it rains. So once they asked me this, I told them like, ladies and gentlemen, the weather. Like this is like literally this is what I did. Like and I meant like ladies and gentlemen, not gentlemen, because it was only one man. So I meant like ladies and gentlemen, the weather. Because I hate the rain and I know like how the weather is in the UK is. So I told them about the weather, and I gave them like the solution for that. Like, I need to be prepared. You need to check regularly the weather. You need to buy clothes, come prepared, blah, blah, blah. All these things that we just tell. So yeah, I think this is all what I got. I hope I covered some notes that are important. Please take this in mind. I know like most of you or all of you are aware of the technicalities and are already um, working on your essays, you know your answers, you're preparing your answers, but please take care of the non-technicalities. You need to focus on them and combine them both with how good you are, because you are already good. But you need to combine these with the technicalities, with how good your answers are, combine them together, and the result will be perfect. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Muhammad. I see how grow up you are, and I'm proud of you, your progress and everything that you shared. I had like in my head all the memory because we kind of came together on this stage, because me and Muhammad, we've been friends since 2 years ago, because we met during the global mentorship program on my year. So yeah, I'm so happy that I was listening the tips from you, because it was like I literally understand what you mean behind in your words. So thank you again. Their speakers. It was very grateful meeting, and I'm so happy that we are organizing this meeting, because I'm sure that your tips and experience will help them a lot. Muhammad, can you please just move the next slide, please? So, as
Okay.
you know, yeah, as you know, guys, we have another meeting tomorrow. It's gonna take place at 3 p.m. UK time, and we will have three incredible Chevening scholar to present and share their experience to you. So, right now is a question answer session. Mohammed, please move the next slide. Okay, so I have seen already the hands. Rolando, please go ahead. Hassan, you are here, right? If so,
I am, yeah.
So hi
great. Okay, go
Hi,
ahead,
Maya.
hi
Rolando.
and hello everyone. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I am Rolando. I am Rolando. Can I talk or?
Yes,
Okay,
Rolando, you are first who raising hands in my list. Please go ahead.
okay. Thank you, Maya. Again, I am grateful for those experience that the people share with us. I really love. I really appreciate the work that you and all the panelists are doing. Uh, I have two questions. The first, I know that it's important. I have a good impression the first seconds on the interview with the interview panel. Um, my question is good because I am the president of a tourist union. It's good if when I shake hand with them, give my business card. Uh, I'm not sure. Well, usually when I meet new people, I usually share with them my business card. I'm not sure it's okay or not in the interview. That is the first question. And the second, the second question is about the the MOOCs of interview. I think it's important if I record the interview, but how you build the best way of answer some question. It's good if I ask to the people who is helping me interviewing, making the interview to me. If I ask to feedback specifically for some question and say, please give me a feedback on how could I answer in a better way this question, that is okay. That are my two questions. Thank you very much.
Maya, I'll take care of the first question, and I'll let Nihal to take the second one. So for the first question, Rolando, what's the point of giving the business card to the panelist? The point behind the business card itself is when you meet someone, you give them your business card, and they might contact you in the future, or there might be like work between you or something. But this is when you give your business card to people from industry, from people within the sector you work in. But what's the point of giving your business card to the panelists? They will not use it to contact you. The point here is more about showing your achievements. So if you give someone your business card, they will say they might be like, oh wow, they might like research your LinkedIn, they might research your company if you have one. But when it comes to Chevening, there is no point of giving your business card because they will not contact you on your business card. And if it is about your achievements, then this is what you need to show during the interview. You will not show this through the business card. Uh, when they ask you about yourself, talk about yourself. When you talk about yourself for the introduction part of the interview, when they ask you to introduce yourself, you need to tell them your name, your major, what did you study, what where you work, and then you need to state your achievements. You should not talk that much in the introduction part, but you need to mention the most significant achievements of you, the things that you did. So mention 2 to 3 achievements, and if there's something related to the business card, you can mention that. Like if the business card is about your company or about your startup, mention that I established this company, for example, and I am helping people do this and this and that. But I don't see a point from giving them business card, to be honest. I don't know if my colleagues agree to this. If you have another point of view, go ahead.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Muhammad, because you already have a time to speak about yourself when he asked you to introduce yourself. And from my experience, it didn't interrupt me at all. I introduced myself very well. I talked about my background in a form like storytelling, and I told them about the challenges that I faced and how I shifted my career, the achievements I achieved, and why I'm here today applying for Chevening. So you will have really enough time to speak about yourself, and you already gave them written material in your application. You need to talk, you need to speak. So I believe, yes, forget about the business card and just talk about yourself.
So I think he has also the second question. Can you please repeat your second question?
Yeah, the second question is about the feedback. For example, okay, in a mock interview, someone asked me different questions, but some new questions. But maybe I answer not in a good way. It's better, but how I know that is not the best way? I need to ask to the interviewer. How I ask him to, okay, please give me your feedback about my answers, and maybe in which way I can answer better, or if not, if it was not clear, in what approach I could I do, if it is possible. How can I ask about that, or what do you think about that?
You mean to ask the interviewer in the mock interview or in the Chevening
No,
committee?
in the preparation.
I would say it's up to you, because if they are your friends, if they are someone from your network or Chevening alumni, you agree with them what kind of feedback they'll be giving you. So as I told you, the first feedback you will receive is from yourself. Try to record yourself and give feedback for yourself. You will know, is this me or not? Is this is really relevant? I'm stressed here. I need to focus on this one. I don't have enough information about this point. I need to do more research. So first, give feedback to yourself, and definitely ask the one who will do the mock interview with you for feedback. How to better answer the question? Yes, they might tell you how you can do it better, or you can just like use YouTube to see other Cheveners how they answer those questions. Don't copy paste, just take insight. So it's totally up to you. It's your decision how to answer, and what is the best way. There's no best way. You choose how you will deliver your story.
Absolutely agree. If you are in part of the global mentorship program, I will just add that you have opportunity to practice with chevening applicants who are like going to study from the same field. So it will give you opportunity to have a mock-up interviewer who are familiar to the field, so they will give you the feedback which is like from other side of the situation, because they don't know you, they don't know what you have written in your essay. So it will give you the chance to see someone else who does not know about you, how they give you feedback, and also in advance you can have a interview with your someone who is in comfort zone, like with your comfort zone, as the Nihal was talking about in her speech. So to understand like what to change and where is the gap and how to improve that.
Thank you very much, Maya, and all the panelists. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Randa, go ahead, please. And Hassan, please prepare to answer the question and after the other speakers.
Okay, so hi and hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, as Maya keeps on saying. First of all, thank you so much for this amazing sessions. I have two questions. My first question, I want to listen to your own personal opinion about this. So if a Chevening applicant is confused between, for example, two choices of two universities, the first university, like within the field, is one of the top universities when it comes to ranking and when it comes to the professors and when it comes to the network that the university and the campus will provide for the person. But the other university, it's better when it comes to the modules. The modules themselves are going to teach the person theoretical knowledge to fulfill their future goals. So my question is, if the person is hesitant between two choices, one is the best in ranking, as well as the network that the university will provide, and for example, also a research center, but the second university is about the core modules or aligned with fulfilling a career plan, what the person should take in mind when deciding, especially that now most of you, or for example, like Maya, are alumni. My second question is, it's about, for I just I
Can
like
we
the part
answer the
where,
first and after you saying second question, because we are kind of like getting lost your point, so it's better to split one by one.
okay.
Go ahead, guys. Hassan, you can start, and other speakers also will add.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a very good question actually, in which I haven't answered that question before. In so if you have two universities, which both of them are good at something, then I think you should focus on the one that has, and this is just my opinion. I do not have a deep knowledge on it, but I think you should focus on the one that has the best materials for your for your course. I mean, but I would say actually networking is also crucial and important as much as the modules and the academic and the academic life. So, but you can actually get a networking from everywhere, because you will be in the Chevening network, you will be in the university students network. You will make a lot of network everywhere, basically, no matter which university you go, basically. But tools that can help you to reach your goals in life are very important when it comes to Chevening. But I can actually, so I cannot say vividly take that or take this, but I would say, and I can, and I cannot wait to hear the views of my friends here. But I would say you should focus on the one that has best modules that will make you reach your goals, basically.
Guys, if you want to add something, please go ahead.
Sure. So, Randa, I'll just pass the question back to you. You have to be clear about your study objective. What do you want to get out of this master's? So this is what I did. I had two options between UCL and between the University of Manchester. I know that definitely UCL is ranking number one when it comes to education, but at the end I decided to go to the University of Manchester because I'm looking at the experience itself. I don't want to be in London. I need to be in Manchester. I need to have like more events and activities. I need to save money so I can explore the UK and travel to Europe. And also I looked to the modules. The modules were more powerful in UCL, but what I liked about Manchester, they have different teaching methods, tools, and techniques that I can learn from rather than having one fixed way of teaching. And also I liked about the University of Manchester, the optional modules that I will choose optional modules up to 4. where I related my career plan to those modules, how I will learn from those optional modules to have my own career plan when I go back to Egypt. So you choose. So here I decided I'll go to Manchester, I will forget about the ranking. If your plan is to do like a PhD after you graduate, if you want to apply for another scholarship and you believe that studying in a high ranked university is important in your profile, so go for it. So you choose which university based on your study objective.
I completely agree. So I'm not gonna add anything. So go ahead for the next question, please, Randa.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your insights. This was very beneficial. So my second question is just commenting on what Muhammad said when it comes to the body language inside the interview. So I just wanted to see if anyone is having any extra tips for the interviews that are going to be held online, because I believe like online interviews, it has its own barrier of managing eye contact, like managing body language. So it's just gonna rely purely or like 80% on the voice tone and how do you speak. So I just want to see if one of the panelists have any ideas about how to strengthen our interview or body language and eye contact within an online settings. And thank you so much again.
Uh, well, Randa, it cannot be the same way as the in-person interview, because when you do a mock-up interview with someone, it will be one person, but in the real tuning interview, it will be with a panelist of like 2 or 3 people, and it will be in person. So it is different. But you can ask people who do mock interviews to you to comment on the way you talk, to comment on the way you sit, to comment on the way you smile, to comment on the way you use your hands. So if there are things that you can cover during the online interview, then try to cover it during the online interview. But not everything can be controlled and tested before the real interview, because everything in the real interview is different. You only focus on your answers, you build on your answers, but when it comes to the body language, uh, you can cover some things during the online interview, but you cannot cover everything that will be or that you will encounter in the real interview. But what you can do is you can plan things in your mind. So you know your answer, look at your answer, and think of how to align your body language with this answer. So when I was preparing for the question that I talked about, the challenges in the UK, and the way I raised my hand this way and told them about the weather, I didn't just come up with this during the interview. I already planned it in my head. And the same about like the other things that I did during the interview. I already had the ideas in my head and I know my answers. I tried to align them. And when I gave my answers, I just applied what I already had in mind without even practicing them. So go through your answers, see which part you want. You can like tell a joke in this sentence. What can your body language be in this sentence? And then during the interview, um, try to apply what you have in mind, or if you come up with something during the interview that you have not already prepared for, go for it if you see that this is fine and appropriate. Okay, and keep in mind that during the interview, it is totally fine if you forget something, if you have done something, because you might be nervous and you might just keep talking and get lost somewhere. So when they asked me the first question was introduce yourself and tell us about white Chevening. So this was the first question in my interview, and I talked about myself. I told them the introduction, and when I got lost in my answer. I talked about things, and once I finished my answer, I stopped. I totally forgot that there was a second part of the question. I did not answer the other part of the question. about white evening. I completely forgot. So when I stopped, they moved to leadership. Once they moved to the leadership, I remember that, oh, I forgot to talk about white evening. But I didn't freak out. I didn't ask them that, oh, I forgot. Can I please go back to answer the question? No, I just controlled myself and moved on because I have the rest of the interview to show myself. It is fine if I forgot this part. So they started with the leadership, then the networking, then the rest of the interview, and I performed well in all these. I worried a bit about the part I forgot, but there was like a lot of answers that I gave. So you need to bear in mind that this is really fine. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just add Muhammad's part because if you forget and you find it out that you forget, you can add it in other part, like at the end of your answer about the leadership, or like if they ask you the university part, this is the time that you're gonna show them why do you want to like why chevening. So use the any chance after you will remember the question, but if you think that they ask you like double question or like couple of questions together, once you stop or like you finish that you're done, you can ask them, can you please repeat the question because I want to cover all the part that you mentioned during the question. So it will help you to cover, but as Muhammad said, uh, yeah, like it's a totally personal experience. So in his case it was totally okay, but in some countries embassy might ask you only 3 or 4 questions, and this 4 question is very important to like emphasize, and they don't repeat, for instance, why UK part. So remember that all experiences are unique and it's depend the embassy. And yeah, if you forget, don't stress yourself until July because yeah, I remember how Muhammad worried about this, and at the end he got a positive result. So please don't stress yourself after the interview because your mental health means a lot. So you need nerves and motivation to study in the UK. So don't destroy it during the waiting time. Abrar, please go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, so
Yes, go ahead.
okay, so I think that sometimes the panel asks about if you have alternative plans if you didn't get the scholarship. So how are you supposed to answer this question? And the second thing is, I know that each embassy picks out like a number of people from the shortlisted ones to get the final award. So my question is, do they rank people? Like, do they get a ranking for each person and then they pick out the most selected, the most highest achievement, or like how does it happen?
Guys,
Okay, I
first you
can
can
go.
go ahead. Yes,
Yeah, I can
and
go
then
for the
after I
first
will add.
question. Thank you, Abrar. It's really a very important question and good question. Yes, you need to be prepared with alternatives for your career plan. This is how I prepared. I said, like, they might tell me, okay, your plan, for example, to work at this organization or this one. What about if you didn't have a job offer, what you will do? So what I did, I'm not sure if that was powerful enough, but I prepared to say, um, okay, first I'll start to reach out to those organizations earlier while I am in the UK. I will send them an email. They already have network there, and I like prepare an example where I managed to do the same strategy with another organization. They don't have a vacancy. They're not looking for employees, and I reached out to them and convinced them you need me in your plan and in your project, and I got the job. So just to prove that I have like something as alternative. I'm not sure if this is powerful, if they will be convinced. You have to think about it like your own way. But at the end, my advice when you talk about alternatives, try to end your answer that, okay, you have an alternative, but it's important to take chevening. Chevening will make it more effective, will make it fast. So I need to get chevening this year, and it's important to have it this year in my career plan so I can achieve my plan earlier, so I can have an impact as soon as possible in my community. So I think it's important to to just highlight how important to have chevening in your plan, but you are ready with alternatives. But don't go with alternatives and talk to them to convince them, okay, I can have the same career plan with alternatives other than chevening. So you're improving, you're trying to prove that you don't need chevening to achieve your plans. No, you need it. At least you need it when it comes to the power of network, when it comes to the time, having a 1 year master scholarship, and then you come back to your career plan. So yes, just highlight on both sides.
Yeah, I will just in this answer that they are looking for the Chevening scholar who already does have a plan B as well, because it's very important that leader must have like a direction where the person are going. So personally, I do have this question on my interview. So I said to them, because I was in Germany that time when I had an interview, and they asked me, why do you want to come for chevening, and why don't you go stay in Germany? Why the UK? And what's your plan B if you don't get chevening? So I said, as I mentioned in my application, I have applied here because I mentioned that I applied for other scholarship in Germany, and I said, as I told you, I apply a scholarship in Germany. But when I deeply made the research, I realized that this is not suitable to my plan. So I showed them that, yes, I do have a plan. And then I said, if I don't get Chevening this year, I will go back to my country to make more research in the field in my country. And then I will apply again for Chevening. So I showed them in a way that I do have a plan B, which means that, yeah, I'm not 100% guaranteed that like I will get the chevening, right? So I said, okay, I will go back to my country, but I will make the research in a part, like, because I said on my short term career plan. Muhammad, you can just stop sharing, I think, because we have seen your screen. And yeah, as I said, like I just said, okay, on my short-term career plan is to go back to my country after UK study and made the research. So I said I will just change this for a couple of months earlier, or like 1 year earlier. I go back to my country, I will do research, and I will be much prepared for chevening for the next year. But I said, as I told you, I already have a 2 year experience of the field, because Nihal, I also changed the profession. So I moved from marketing to education. So I said, okay, guys, I already worked in 2 different countries in the field. So I have a experience. And during the my work time, I find it out that I don't have a technical and theoretical knowledge. That's why I apply for Chevening, and this is the good time. So you have to show them that, of course, you have plan B, but this is like essential for you and for your career plan. Yeah, you had a second question. Muhammad, do you want to answer? If not, please, I can go for it. So
I
your
forgot
second,
what. Yeah, what
yeah,
was the second question?
second question was about the marking and ranking the people on the interview.
Marking of what?
The
You mean
interviewing,
like
how they choose the applicants from the interview, and because it's a
how they?
limited number of the people. So I can answer this question because I have a information regarding this. And if you are
Mm,
part of the mentorship, I already sent the email how they ranked people on the interview stage. So they do have like, I think it was a 4 scale ranked form, and they ranked you based on your answer if you cover everything. And If you are not part of the mentorship program, please reach on me and I can share to you how they ranked you during the interview stage. So it's a very important question because, but it's not, remember, but it's not only depend on your interview because you already got some mark from the High Commission of the Chevening from London for your first stage, which is like essay stage. So you have some ranked already, but also they will add the marks after your interview. So yes, that was all that I wanted to say regarding the question, and I hope that I cover your question.
Yes, you did cover my questions. Thank you, Maya.
You're welcome. Carmen, please go ahead, and we have two more questions, guys.
Thank you, Maya. Yes, I would like to ask you that I have already received an unconditional letter from my first choice, and I haven't applied yet for my other programs. So I don't know, as I have already received this offer, does it look bad for the panel, or should I also apply for the other universities I was considering? I don't know if you could help me with this. Thank you.
You can answer, guys. Go ahead for this.
So I believe they will not know. If you want in the interview, just don't mention it. They will not ask you. They might ask you. Just be prepared for both scenarios. But it's fine. For me, when I went to the interview, I had no offers, conditional or unconditional, from my 3 offers. I applied for one and they didn't reply back. I applied for one which is Manchester and they rejected me. And then I emailed them back and accepted me after the interview. So it's totally fine. Don't be stressed. It's better to have your offers and to upload them on the website. But if you got one unconditional offer, go now and upload it on the website and say that you got an unconditional offer from this university. And don't mention about the other 2 if you don't want to apply. It's fine.
El Bosti, I don't know if I pronounce your name correctly. Please, sorry if it's not correct. And directly the question because we are over the time. Go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for this session. I have my first question is about when you are asked about giving an example of leadership. Do we have to start, for example, talking about different examples of your leadership shortly, just to say, for example, that I have acquired many leadership skills through my journey, for example, this, and this, and I have chosen to talk, and I choose to talk about this experience and then starting talking about it, or just go ahead and start directly with with the example. That's my first question. My second question is when you are asked at the end
I think it's better to
about
answer the first question and move
okay,
on the next one
thank
because
you.
we sometimes lose the point. I see Muhammad is answering on the chat, so Nihal, you can go and cover.
Yes, I would say you have to start first by like one sentence introduction about what leadership means to you, even if they didn't ask, and then you can go ahead to the example. This is what I did. In the example, I prefer to not list them, just give a real example. And again, it's better to have it in a storytelling format. So what I did, I mentioned only one example about an initiative that I worked on. I started telling them about how I gathered the team, what the challenge we had. So the STAR method or the STAR approach, you use it and give them like more details. And the most important thing, as Hassan mentioned in the beginning, the power of numbers and names. Try to mention numbers, try to mention names, and give details. And if you face a challenge, don't wait for a follow-up question. What happened with me in the leadership question? I didn't receive any follow-up questions. They give me the time. I spoke about the question, and then they moved to the second one because I told them everything using the STAR approach. I mentioned the challenge I faced, how I managed to overcome this challenge, what is the impact we had in terms of numbers. So you just give all the details of one example better than listing so many examples.
I completely agree. I personally choose also STAR approach. Please go ahead and second question.
For my second question, I am a Chevening candidate from Morocco. And my question is the following: if they ask you about asking a question at the end of the interview, can I ask them how many like people were shortlisted from my country, and how many are going to win the Chevening if there's any quota in Morocco? What do you think about this question?
Shall I go ahead, Maya?
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay. So for me, I would say you have the right to ask whatever questions, but think about how this question is representing you. So that looks like you are worried about being chosen or not. So I would say you can ask Maya if she got an information about last year, and you start to see like how this year might be, how many shortlisted people from a country, and how many they got at the end. But I don't think you have to ask the panel about this. Use the power of questions, something related to you, something to add that you didn't add in the interview. So I asked them two questions. I don't remember the first one, but the second one I asked um, was about having a project with another Chevener. So if I connected with another Chevener, she is an alumni from Chevening, and she's in my field and the same city. We are interested in a project, and we are looking for a fund. So I deal with them as I am. I'm already a Chevener, and I have a good network with Cheveners. I have my own project, and now I'm looking for a fund. I'm not looking for the opportunity to be a Chevening. I don't know if this is good or not, but this is what I thought about. And they answered my questions, and they told me we can look at it, you can submit a proposal. And we had a discussion about the idea of having Cheveners working together in their city, especially if the city is like a very poor area in Upper Egypt, and how we can develop this. So yes, just choose a question related to your cause, related to your skills, to show off something new that you didn't talk about in the interview, which is for me connections and networking, but not to ask information that will not add to you, like what you will do after you know how many people are shortlisted. We have to wait for the result. Just do your best, and you will be one of those people.
Thank you so much. Absolutely agree. I will just add, you can check the information on the embassy Facebook page, because they always posting the cohort picture. Like personally, the Georgian embassy always posting like how many Chevening scholar went to the UK for each cohort. So difference is 1 or 2 person. So, and I also agree, if you have information, what's gonna change for this? I agree completely, my colleagues, and please take this advice.
Thank you so much. That was perfect.
Uh, Rahima. Rahima, I don't know if I pronounce your name correctly, but
Yeah, yeah.
please, yeah, go
Hello,
ahead,
everyone.
please.
Yeah, can you hear me? So I got one of the question during my mock interview. They asked, why do you choose University of Bristol? Because that's my first choice. So I did answer that I want to go to University of Glasgow, that the one that I got conditional offer. I didn't really answer about University of Bristol because I didn't get the conditional offer. So what do you think? Should I say? Should I just straightforward say because I didn't get the offer, or I just straightforward said about I wanted to University of Glasgow, which is my second choice, in which I didn't really write so much during my essay. Thank you. That's my question.
Oh, yeah, you are unmuted, Nehal.
Yeah, I was asking Muhammad, you want to go ahead?
I think he's answering people on the chat. That's why I did
Okay, okay.
did not bother him.
Yeah, no.
I got lost in the question, sorry.
Yeah, so no problem. Go for it, and me and Nihal will trying
I
to
just
answer
want to
them.
ask Rahima first. You already done your interview? Because you said that they asked you this question and you answered.
No, I did a mock interview with my other colleague. Yeah. So one
Oh,
of the
so you mean
questions she did ask that.
in the first interview, they
Yeah,
asked
mock
you
interview.
about your first choice, and you answered about Glasgow, right?
Yeah, I answer about the Glasgow as my second choice at that time.
I would say if they asked you about the three choices, you have to talk about the three choices. Like if they asked you about why do you want to study these courses, so it's better to talk about them the same rank you mentioned in the application. You need to stick to your application that you wrote. And if they ask about a specific university that you are no longer interested to go, like for example, if they asked you about your first choice, which is Bristol, and you decided you will not go to this one, you will go to Glasgow, the second one, I would say still answer about Bristol because you already mentioned in your application. So tell them that yes, you might at the end conclude that now you need to change the ranking or the order of your choices and you want to have Glasgow as a first choice. It's fine. You can say that in the interview, but try to stick to the question to make sure that you are sure about your choices, that you didn't change it completely. You still have Bristol, you're still interested in it, but now you are interested more in Glasgow, and it's better if you provide a reason why Glasgow now for you is better than Bristol. You might mention
Thank you
about
so
something
much.
new
Yeah,
that
you're answering my
you knew
question.
about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes.
You, Lisa, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Already, Mohammed have responded my question through the WhatsApp, through the chat. So thank you so much for the information.
Okay, Isaac, and we will take one more question because, as I mentioned, we are over the time. We have to finish in 10 minutes. So, Isaac, please go ahead, and next one will be Sana. Just want
Okay,
to
thank
add,
you
like
very much.
tomorrow we have again the. Just want to add a little detail. Tomorrow we have again the session, so it's gonna be opportunity for you. If we don't cover your question, come back and we will answer your question definitely for tomorrow. Go ahead, Isaac.
Okay, good afternoon, colleagues. Thanks, Maya and Mohammed and the rest of the colleagues. I have a very quick question in terms of if you're asked about, tell us about yourself. Will I talk about my, work experience related, my education background, my other non, professional experiences like leadership type of work I've done. So sorry if you have covered this question earlier, but I am still interested in knowing about it. Secondly, the second question is on the same university where colleagues were still asking. For me, I had three choices in my essay, but again, I only applied one of them and I got a rejection. But fortunately, I also submitted several other applications to different universities and I got a conditional offer from one of them. So will I use that one during the interview and request them if we can change, or should I go ahead now and also do application for the other two which I didn't do? So that's my question. And back to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
take this one.
go ahead.
Thank you, Nana. For the first question, Isaac, about the introduction, there's a lot to tell about you. Okay, if you want to talk about yourself, about your education, about your work experience, then it will take you at least an hour to talk about yourself. This is not the point. So you need to mention, you need to be very specific, and you need to mention the most significant things and the most significant achievements about yourself. So tell them about your name, your education, and what position do you currently hold. That's it. Then go into mentioning your achievements. Like link this to like I've done this, I've done this, I've done that, and this made this impact. This one made this impact. This one made this impact. So choose 2 to 3 um, of the most significant achievements about yourself and talk about them. You shouldn't talk that much in the introduction part because it is just like introducing yourself. But you can use this opportunity to mention some significant achievements that you might not mentioned already in your application, or maybe there's a new thing that you did and you want to cover in the interview. So this is your chance to mention that you did this, talk about your passion, say that I've done this, I have established this, and this helped people to do this. It depends. Only you can know the answer, but the structure is talk about yourself in a very brief way, your education, your name, your current position, and then the most significant achievements. With regard to the second question, as far as I'm concerned, your three choices, you got rejection from one and you have not applied for the other two, and you applied for universities outside your application and you got an offer from one. So it is fine. Your interview is your last chance to modify your choices. What I would suggest is uh, tell them to change your university, the one that rejected you. Okay, change the one that rejected you with the one that you got offer from, because for the in this situation, you will guarantee that you have at least one offer. But find a valid reason for that. Avoid telling them that I got rejected, so I applied for another university. Do not ever talk about this. Do not mention that you got rejected. Find a valid reason. If they ask you, this is such in the situation where they ask you about why do you want to make this change. If you get asked this question, then you have to be already prepared. Tell them a valid reason, okay, and go for it. But they might not ask you. There is such a possibility, and in this case, you will just change the university, and that's it. So change this, the one that rejected you, with the one that you have offer from, and apply for the remaining two as soon as possible. Having one offer is fine, but it is always recommended and advisable to have at least two offers to secure your position.
Thank you, Mohammed. Sana, your question is last, and go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you for all of you. Just a quick question. If I get three unconditional offer and I pass the interview to the next stage, should I have to go to the first option, the first university I ranked, or I have the option to go whenever university I want from the three courses I know? Thank you.
Okay, I can go ahead. You can hear me, right? So you
Yes.
don't
Yes.
have to go. You don't have to go to the first option. You will choose at the end. But if you uploaded the three unconditional offer on the website with the order first, second, third, and then they sent you an email that you are finally accepted, and you will go for the first option automatically. You have to tell them why you need to change for the second one, because you already submitted an unconditional offer and you are accepted. But in my case, because I didn't submit any unconditional offers, when they sent me that I'm accepted, I sent them an unconditional offer from Manchester. I said I would go to Manchester. It's my second choice, but I will take it first. So I think they are flexible. I don't know about other options.
Yeah, at the end, you don't have to change the rank during the interview stage because they don't mind which three university you go for. It's important just to have one unconditional offer. Personally, I had two of them. So they sent me the my like offer from the first university, and I text them like, I just want to go for my second choice. So they said okay, and they just refreshed the offer. So it's not any problem regarding this. Important is to have the offer at the end of the deadline, which is July.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, guys, I still seen the raise hand, but you have opportunity to join us tomorrow and cover our your question tomorrow. Thank you so much again, Mohammed, Nehal, and Hassan for being with us, for volunteering and share your experience to new generation. So just wanted to finish my speech with a very famous sentence that one time chevening is always chevening. So they are showing us. And if you want to be part of this next year, you have to contact me. We will organizing again the global mentorship program. Thank you so much. So you can